Hi, and welcome to Armchair Pundits. For all of those who used to follow us on our YouTube channel, you used to also follow us on Street Life Radio. We're back with a new podcast called The Armchair Pundits. Today you have myself, James. You have Yao. Say hi, Yao.
Hi.
We have Lenny.
Hi, Lenny.
And we have Leon.
Howdy, peoples.
So, little rundown, probably debate our back five of the season. Then we'll talk about the topics. We're going to focus on the hot topic at the moment, Liverpool's collapse on Monday evening. I'm a Liverpool fan, so I was a bit devastated, as Lenny probably was as well. And we'll also talk about, obviously, Man City. So, Lenny, being a fellow Liverpool fan, how did you feel on Monday when there were 12 minutes left and we were 3-0 up? What were you feeling?
12 minutes left, I was thinking to myself, you know what is this? +6, okay, if they win the next two games, that's plus another 2, that's +8 goal difference. Okay, lad, we need to score another 3 maybe, just to bring it back down to like +4, and we could do that against Newcastle. But then we conceded 3 goals. But even because I'm one of them kind of fans that think, yeah, we should win and that kind of thing, I was still happy in the end, because I knew, given that at the start, nobody can tell me now that they thought that this was going to go into the final week of the season. We still had a chance to win the Premier League.
But then, I hear what you're saying, but for me, I didn't feel that way straight away. Yeah. When I was watching the game, I was getting excited. I've got a WhatsApp group where there's about 30 to 50 people in that group, and we all sitting there saying, we want more goals. And then when the first goal went in, it was still a bit, okay, we still want more goals. What? But I'll be honest, I was devastated at the end of the game, because what Brendan Rodgers normally does, that he's done against Norwich, he shows it up, you go 5 at the back, you bring on Agger, and then you say, you can't break us down. But I think he made poor substitutions.
What I was upset the most was 3 goals
in 8 minutes.
I like him a bit, but I always had no confidence in his defending. Glenn Johnson was at fault for every single goal he conceded that day. The first goal, he didn't close out fast enough. The second goal, why are you trying to tackle the guy on the halfway line 2-on-2? You run back with him, you give your other team next time. The third goal, what are you doing on that side of the pitch when the ball gets knocked inside? You're supposed to cover inside in that circumstance, and that's partly Sakho's fault as well. But that's 3 mistakes, 3 goals.
As outsiders, Yao, Leon, you're both Tottenham fans. So, Yao, watching that game, what did you see? Who was at fault, in your opinion?
I fully agree with Lenny on this situation, funny enough. Ben Johnson definitely was at fault for all 3 goals. I think fullbacks in general for most of the season have been at fault for a lot of goals. But in terms of the Liverpool game, you know, obviously you've titled it a Liverpool collapse. I don't really see it as a collapse. Crystal Palace are a decent squad.
But it's a collapse because you're 3-0 up. Fair enough, you're away from home, but you're 3-0 up. Liverpool have done it before, which is why they've now been taunted because of obviously the Champions League victory. Yeah. You shouldn't draw 3-3. That should not happen.
Yeah, but I also read an article where it said that never has going top of the Premiership been taken to with such demands, like, oh, we went top. No. Yeah.
It's true. We did go top.
Yeah.
One point clear.
Never has anyone gone top of the Premiership with so much heartache.
But, you know, honestly, like, I look at the game and I do think to myself that, like, one thing I would say is, you are right. Rodgers should have shut up shop. And the reason why I say that is because Newcastle have been poor, home and away, for most of the season. Like, they have been really poor. I could have seen you guys going in and scoring 4 goals. Not saying that you would have won outright 4-0, but I could have seen you go in there and scoring 4 goals, which would have put you at what, +7, if I'm right? Which, if City had conceded a certain amount of goals, would have brought them to level.
If they lost. A draw, because a draw is 0.
I think I'm hoping for too much on a loss. Really.
Leon, your view?
Well, at 3-0, Liverpool were coasting, and at that time, Crystal Palace actually weathered a storm, because you guys were all over them and creating a million chances, and then they started to weather it, and Liverpool kept still pushing forward, and I couldn't understand why you committed so many people up top at that point, because usually when you have an attacking corner, you usually leave
more defenders back than there are attackers. And Crystal Palace had 2 attackers at all times, and Liverpool left it as 2-on-2 rather than having an extra cover man, which you usually do to cover any potential counter attack. Liverpool went 2-on-2. I felt that I don't think you can pin the blame on any one particular factor. There was numerous factors that caused that particular downfall from being 3-0 up. Brendan Rodgers is one, Glenn Johnson is another, but the partnership between Skirtle and Sacco has never been good at all of the season. You guys are saying you should have brought Agger on. Why isn't Agger starting? Why is Agger not starting? To me, Agger is actually your most composed defender out of all 4 that you have. And for me, I don't understand why Sacco's been played ahead of Agger in that particular game at Crystal Palace, who you know are going to be very good in the air. They're going to be strong on the counter attack. Agger's the type of guy you need at the back, and I know that he has had a couple of injuries. He's always had, but whenever I've seen him play, more often than not, he's been your best defender.
The problem is Sacco. You said good. Sacco is probably our best in the air defensively.
Yeah. And
Sacco wins.
across the ground
Sacco
as
wins.
well.
He wins the ball more than anyone else. Sacco is actually composed when he's actually on
But
the
it's
ball.
the combination of him and Skirtle. They're the same type of player.
Yeah,
They
right.
both like doing the same thing.
Yeah.
They both like going
Attacking.
hard against the attacker. You need someone who's going to be composed.
He
Because
hasn't
neither of
liked
them are good
Agger.
on the ball.
He hasn't liked Agger for a while though, because it's almost as soon as Agger has an injury or as soon as Sacco's fit, Sacco comes in. He went looking for. He didn't go looking for a third choice centre back. You've got to look at that. He went looking for a new starting centre back to play with Skirtle, not to play with Agger.
Yeah, but to be fair, Skirtle looked like he was on his way out at the start of the season as well. But that being said, Liverpool, Sacco and Skirtle have kept 1 clean sheet in 17 games together. So that tells you.
That tells you what you need to know.
Well, also you could say, well, maybe it shouldn't be Skirtle. Skirtle was the one problem. Skirtle's the guy that's been there. Because even when you had Agger and Skirtle,
You can't play 2 left footers
why? I don't
because
agree.
neither of them can use their right foot. Neither of them can
And the
use their
ball's
right
going
foot.
to
That's
go,
the problem.
If the ball goes through the middle, they're
That's-
going to have to use the
Right foot,
right
and
foot.
if neither of them can use it.
No,
That's
but
the
then-
problem with left footers. Unless you're able to, unless a left footer is properly trained, because of the way they stand, they seem cumbersome when they're using their weaker foot. It's only those that go about training to use it that are able to adapt, like Van Persie, like Messi, like those kind of guys. Defenders don't really do that. When you see 2 left-footed centre backs together, it doesn't look
I
right.
don't think I've ever seen 2 left footers.
There you go. In a back 4, in a back 3 maybe, because then you have 1 right footer
In the middle. Yeah, I can see where you got. In terms of the actual Liverpool collapse, the way I see it, like you've gone, what was it, 10 games straight?
11.
11 games straight.
Then we lost.
Then you lost. Then you drew. Yeah.
No, but
Marvellous.
We won, then we drew, didn't we? Did we win? Is it straight Chelsea then Norwich? No, Chelsea then Crystal Palace.
Yeah, it's
Chelsea
Chelsea.
Crystal Palace. But okay, I called it Liverpool collapse. I'm talking about the actual game itself. Our
Yeah.
season has not collapsed.
No, but
No, I
it's
think
been
after
something
the
coming
game-
though. It's not like you haven't seen it. As a Liverpool fan, it's something that's been coming. Like we concede just like randomly, just for no reason. It'll be 2-0 up, okay, 2-1, 2-2. Who was it we played? It was
Norwich
3-0.
3 against
Norwich,
Cardiff.
we had it against
Nah.
Stoke.
We was 2-0 up and all of a sudden it was 2-2 at half time. I think it was Swansea. We played Swansea and we won
Okay.
4-3. It was 2-0 up, comfortable, out of nowhere, 2-2. We're like, wow, what's going on? But
So I think I will check the stats because I actually honestly think it could be a case that we've actually lost more second halves than we've won this season. And it sounds silly, but I don't think we've lost the first half of the season.
You guys have conceded 2 less goals than Tottenham, and we've been humbled many times this season.
We
don't wanna
conceded
bring
more
that up.
goals than Stoke than Crystal Palace even a few weeks ago.
What I would say, I think as much as everyone keeps saying it is a very good season for Liverpool, I think it's the fact that this chance to win a title may not come again for a while.
But
For the
then-
simple reason that other teams that will get better.
again,
And
this
it's
is-
whether Liverpool can make their side get
My-
better, because
my-
a lot of
my-
players are playing
Yeah,
above their potential
argument with
right
this,
now.
my argument with when someone keeps saying this,
Yeah.
you think that nobody expected us to be anywhere near here. Nobody.
But
like-
then a lot of the other teams have gone through transitional periods, which
They
is
have,
that reason.
but nobody expected us. Nobody.
I will gladly say that I was one of the
Yeah,
people
no,
that
I'm
did
saying
respect
But
it.
my view,
At the
my
start of the
view on it-
season, no,
Yeah.
I'll say one more thing. At the start of the season, there was 5 teams that people would say had better squads than Liverpool. 5. Yeah, that was Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal, Tottenham, and Man City. Everyone would say these teams had better squads than us. So now we're looking at this and we're second. So you saying, okay, we might never have the chance to do this again? I don't see it. I think we're going to improve over the summer.
Yeah, I think my view on it is it's the factors that have got involved. Second half of last season, Liverpool were fantastic. We didn't get into Europe, but as soon as we bought Coutinho and Sturridge, we were as good as all the other top teams. But the fact the first half of our season was so poor, people forget that. So we actually climbed up so high to the fact that then he had the whole summer to work with the Sturridges, the Coutinhos, to work with them into his system. Then on top of that, we had no Europe. And a lot of people have said that's the only reason why Liverpool played 20 games. That's fair enough. But every week, he had the whole week to plan for the other teams.
Yeah.
So you factor that because he said he's a season ahead of schedule. So for the people to say next season is going to be a lot harder, he's a season ahead of schedule. So I look at it as a season ahead of schedule in terms of players. There's players that we probably couldn't have bought next summer with summer coming up. We don't have to wait till the season after because we weren't as good as we were. Number 2, there's a hype around Liverpool now. People are going to want to play for Brendan Rodgers. So those players, the Williams that we lost out on, the countless players we've lost out on in the last year or so, are now going to look at it and say, Liverpool challenge for the title.
Yeah,
why am I not going to go there? So why are we not going to be as good next season?
Imagine that now you get the toss up between, okay, we're going to play for Mourinho and we're going to play for Rodgers. Rodgers could come say, look, come here. Do you see how we played last year? Look at that. And then he'll show him the video of Mourinho playing and guys like Hazard coming out saying, yeah, I'm not involved in this parking the bus stuff. Yeah? This is not why I play football, to park the bus.
What I'd say is, I'm not saying that Liverpool won't be a better team next year. What I am saying is the other teams will improve, and that will obviously pull everyone back towards. So I can't see Man U being as bad as they were. Chelsea are going to be better next year. Man City might even improve again now that what's his name?
The Michaelis has improved?
No, the manager.
Oh, Pellegrini.
Pellegrini has had a season. His first season.
Everton as well.
Everton are going to improve. Hopefully Tottenham will improve.
Yeah, but you've got to remember,
But-
Everton's best players are loan players.
No, but,
and you're going to get them back.
but all I'm saying is, it's not about Liverpool getting worse. It's the other teams that
Yeah,
are bouncing.
I agree with that. But I also think Liverpool are going to do a lot better in the transfer market this year.
I'll be honest with you, I generally believe that Liverpool will be up to the challenges next season. Honestly. And the only reason I believe that is because off the back of this season, we've now realised that their style of football at some point in a season will work and will work consistently for a certain time period. And that's all you need, because they weren't in the top 4 until Christmas? And then after Christmas they fell out of they went top, fell to 4th by New Year's Day.
We was first from the start.
But then everyone's seen the
Arsenal.
formula to beat Liverpool
was
now.
like first or
Also,
second.
people have also seen the formula to beat Liverpool. Part of the bus. It's what Liverpool had trouble with before Brendan Rodgers came, was that teams would go to Anfield and camp, and Liverpool could not break them down for love nor money. They came here crossbars, posts, all sorts.
We
The
fixed
reason
that,
it's
though.
different is because we scored first. We
Right.
scored first every game. Teams have to come out, and then we just go and attack them.
Let's not get it twisted. This whole part of the bus Liverpool haven't worked. It's only Chelsea. There's only 2 teams have managed to do it. Chelsea and Hull.
Nobody else
really.
has parked the bus.
Hull parked the bus. A lot of teams have come. Thing is, people say nobody has. You can park the bus, but if you score an early goal, that bus has been removed. That's what's happened. Little people came and parked their bus at Anfield, but we got goals from set pieces. We're top goal scorers in set pieces. You can park the bus who you like, but if you're scoring from set pieces, that bus is null and void.
Yeah, you don't have
And
to
no
come
one
back
has
out.
scored more set piece goals than Liverpool this season.
Yeah, and no one has scored more goals in the first 20 minutes than Liverpool as well.
So we found different ways to avoid the park the bus problem. And I'll say it again, it's the whole Chelsea thing where this whole Liverpool can't break down teams has come from. It's one game. I'm sorry, Mourinho is the best in the world at shutting down teams.
Yeah.
If he says no one is scoring today, no one is scoring today. End of story.
And then to
people are
counteract
getting hyped over it.
them, he went and said West Ham parked the bus against him.
He loves to contradict.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
but
But that's
all the
Mourinho.
time.
That's Mourinho.
Does it
yeah.
all the time.
And it's noticeable Chelsea are not where they're supposed to be right now, because whenever someone parks the bus against them, because they're not used to be on the front foot of football, they can't do anything.
Okay, so we've spoken about the Liverpool thing, and I'm sure a few of us enjoyed it. We have to tip our hats to who I think are probably going to win the league, Man City. It makes I'm not saying anything outlandish shit. The title's more or less gone, barring a miracle. Pellegrini, his first season, he's faced a lot of criticism during the season for blowing out everyone early and then dropping silly points here and there. You got to give them credit. As you guys discuss, I'll find the stat where it says how many weeks each of the certain teams have been top of the table, and I'll say from now, out of the team challenging for title, Man City have been number one the least amount of times, but they can win the league.
Well, they dropped 8 points against silly teams, but they beat most of the teams around them. Bar, I think it was Liverpool.
Chelsea, they lost home and away to Chelsea.
Oh yeah, and Chelsea. Like, it just shows you, Chelsea dropped points against a lot of the smaller teams as well.
Yeah.
Every one of those teams have had a little bit of complacency against a smaller club, and a smaller club's got victory. You have an off day. It's Pellegrini's first season, and he's done really, really well considering Aguero's been injured for a lot of it, and he was probably their best player before he got injured, and Yaya Toure took the mantle, which kind of led them on to where they are now. They've got a great squad. He's been under a lot of pressure. Out of all of the managers, well, you would have said apart from Moyes, he probably would have been the most under pressure to bring success to his team, and he's managed to do it. They kind of had an unlucky draw in the Champions League. Every time they go into Europe, they don't look anywhere near the same side, but they drawn against Bayern Munich, managed to get a win there. Barcelona, you can't really argue. They come up against one of the best teams in Europe and they lost.
I think they've done better this year.
They've done really, really well this season.
I think they've done better this year. I mean, like you said, Pellegrini is his first season in the Premiership as a manager. And in all honesty, I mean, people will say that they dropped points against Chelsea home and away, and they dropped points against who else? Against Liverpool.
Yeah, Sunderland.
Against Sunderland. But they blew Tottenham clean out of the waters. Absolutely took Arsenal apart.
A lot of teams did. Sorry.
Destroyed. It's been a bad team.
A lot of teams
destroyed Manchester City, Manchester United. So, in all honesty, like some of the clubs that they've come up against, they've absolutely hammered them to the point where, when the clubs come up against them for the second time in the season, they are generally scared of what they could potentially do to them.
The thing I've noticed with Man City, they've got the perfect blend of power and finesse. Yeah, they've got the intricate players, so they've got the David Silva, the Nasri, the Navas, but they've also got like the power with Fernandinho and Yaya Toure, Company, and then up front they've got again finesse and power. Jovetic and Aguero, finesse, and then they've got the power with Negredo and Dzeko. So it's a perfect balance. Whereas other teams don't really have that all the way around. They might have, like Liverpool's got a lot of flair. We don't really have that much power. Whereas Man United, let's not talk about them. We don't know what they have this year. Who's the other one? Chelsea. A lot of power. The flair that they have, they make them defend too much. So by the time they get to the front of the pitch, they get too tired. So I think Man City have done well this year. Really, really well. But considering they have the best squad, you should expect that of them.
You see this with the best squad discussion. I think they have had the best squad. So by right, if you're looking at their squad, they should win.
They should, yeah, because if you look at all the players they have in every position, their starting lineup will start for most teams.
We're talking in the Premier League, right?
Yes, in the Premier League.
If we're talking in the Premier League, their starting 11, I would say a good 90% of that starting 11 would start.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have to agree. There isn't really much more you can say. If they do go on to win it, which it looks like they will, they deserve it. And they've played really, really good football. By Liverpool, they've probably played the best football in the league. Their defence has been one of the best as well. They've had numerous defensive partnerships, trying to work with Company, Nastasic, De Michaelis, Lescott, who seems to be the forgotten man.
For valid reason.
Yeah, Michael Richards even played there. So they've had troubles at the back, but nowhere near the same as Liverpool, and that's been one of the main reasons why they look like they're going to win a title.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to move on to our back five for the season. So what I'll do, I'll take it to Yao first. Who has been your best goalkeeper? And start off with goalkeeper. Your goalkeeper of the season.
Hugo Lloris. Easy. And the reason why I'm going to go with Hugo Lloris is
Apart
without
from the fact
him.
that you're a Spurs fan.
No, it's not even the fact that I'm a Spurs fan. Without him, and I am not
60 goals.
even joking, without him, we would be relegated. That is if we had, let's see, what goalkeeper can I throw in there? Marshall, who I think is a very good goalkeeper, don't get it twisted.
I think Marshall probably is the goalkeeper of the season.
Thank you. No, let's hear this.
No.
If we had Marshall,
Right, if we had Marshall, yeah, we probably would be still in the relegation, so maybe just a bit higher. But without Hugo, if we had Marshall in goal, we would be bottom of the league, because our defense is just as bad. Don't get it twisted.
Marshall has made the most saves this season.
Not gonna deny that,
Every
but look at the
goalkeeper.
club that he's at.
Yeah, so that shows you something.
No, but Hugo's made saves from gods, okay? He's made saves where people are literally one-on-one. He's even tackled a guy from outside the box. Hugo Lloris.
Yeah, but that's
Captain America.
a lot of the reasons why you've conceded goals, because Lloris has been outside of the box.
No,
Yes, it's because he's been out of position.
outside the box. This is not FIFA or Pro.
Yeah,
okay, that's your view. Lenny.
I'm gonna go for Marshall, because without Marshall, Cardiff would have been relegated probably halfway through the season.
But they're still relegated, right?
Yeah, they're not relegated.
Yeah, I'm just checking.
It's
I'm
not everything is down to the goalkeeper at the
I'm
end of
just
the day.
checking.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, but bar Marshall, without Marshall, they would have probably been relegated at the start of this. Well, not start, but halfway through the season. He's made numerous saves. Some of them in the last couple of weeks. Some of them saves, they're like real top drawer stuff. So
148 saves.
148. Another good shout for goalkeeper is De Gea from Man
You
United.
get one chance. You need to hear Leon's. You can come back to it after. You need to hear Leon's guy first.
I'm gonna go Lloris as well. Obviously,
Another Tottenham guy.
Yeah, I'm a Tottenham fan, but in light of how many times Tottenham have given up in games, Lloris has been the one player that hasn't done so. And I wouldn't go as far to say relegation, but without him, we would definitely not have any chance of qualifying for Europe, and would have probably had one of the record highest amount of droppings during the season. For me, Lloris has been an outstanding, and his character throughout all. I mean, if I was a goalkeeper, having to stand behind the combination of Kabul, Dawson, Carl Norton, and Danny Rose, I probably would have just lost it. So I have to say, for me, it's Lloris. Marshall, on the other hand, he's been relegated and he conceded 71 goals. Yes, you could argue that Cardiff would have got relegated time ago, but they've got another league. What difference would it make?
Fair enough. For me, it's, I don't know, it's a toss-up between, I think Czech's had a very good season. Best defence. It's not, also, that's not down to the back four in front of him, but there's games where he saved them with the back four, and everyone knows when you have nothing to do and then that one chance comes, the best goalkeepers stop that one chance, and Czech's done that countless times this season. For me, I was leaning towards Marshall, but I just think from where they were, Czech, we thought Czech was gone a few years ago. Probably he's gone in this season because of Courtois. But when the one-on-ones have counted for Czech, he's been there to stop it. So for me, I'd have to, as much as I don't want to say it, I'd go for Czech as a goalkeeper this season. So
Left back.
My left back is easy. It's Luke Shaw.
Yeah.
It's Luke Shaw. I don't even know if I want to even
I think that's
give a
unanimous,
reason. Yeah,
unanimous
it's
between
Luke Shaw.
everyone.
The
I
kid
think.
has impressed me heavily throughout the whole season.
To be fair though, we have like an outsider shout because he's been playing out of position for pretty much the whole season.
That's been a great though.
Aspilicueta
that's
and
true.
Flanagan as well. On top of that, the two of them. Flanagan, he just looks like he just was born to defend.
I'm going to say it from now, I don't think it's Luke Shaw. I think it's Aspilicueta. Because you know what, I'll be honest, we're in England.
Yeah.
The hype around Luke Shaw, because he's young and he's British, has taken his level higher than it actually is, in my opinion. It's in my opinion. For me, man, you don't get past Aspilicueta.
No,
He's made. I've seen him make one mistake this season. Granted, it probably lost him that game against Sunderland. That's the only mistake I've seen him make this season. And Ashley Cole is probably the best left back we've had for the last 10 years in and around Europe. And he can't get in. And it's not that he can't get in because of stubbornness. Aspilicueta at first it was stubbornness, but Mourinho has proved that there's no reason to take Aspilicueta out. So for me,
I'd have to agree.
Aspilicueta.
Honourable mention was Leighton Baines. He's had a good season as well.
He's had a good season, but I'll still put Shaw ahead of him.
Okay. What about right back?
Right back for me, I know before we came on air, Leon mentioned this point as well, but I was actually going to mention it as well. I think the best right back England currently have, for me, and a lot of you listeners will probably say, what is he talking about? It's the young guy at Southampton. It's Nathaniel Klein.
Yeah. I personally think you cannot look beyond the to be champions. You'd say Zabaleta has had a great season, scoring all sorts.
That is actually a very good shot.
All sorts of. I was actually thinking who is the best right back in the Premier the other day, and then just out of nowhere, I was like, yeah, Zabaleta, and defending, going forward, assists, he even scores goals. So it's outright. It has to be him.
Zabaleta I can understand giving it to, but I'm not gonna lie. My personal favourite, it's just my personal favourite, would be Cole. Like I've really enjoyed him this season. I think he's really put in a performance.
Just to put it out there, Klein is my favourite. I'm not saying he's the best.
Yeah.
But you're looking for your best.
Yeah, that's your back five.
If it's my back five, if it was my back five, and I had to defend, I had to defend, then it would be Zabaleta. If I had to choose my very, but
if you have to
Klein's impressed me a lot. Well, Zabaleta is attacked just as well as Coleman is.
Yeah, but Coleman there's something about that boy. Yeah.
Leon, your choice?
I can't look past Zabaleta. I do think Nathaniel Klein should be going to the World Cup, but we'll come to that another time. But Zabaleta and Seamus Coleman will be awesome this season, but I'll go with Zabaleta for the simple reason that defensively, there's no one better at right back, and his ability going forward is second to none. He creates goals, as Lenny said, he scores, but you can't fault his defending. He's a better defender than Seamus Coleman. Seamus is great going forward, but Zabaleta is just reliable. He's Mr. Reliable.
He's underrated.
And he never gets dropped. His only injury or suspension that he gets taken out of that team. So for me, Zabaleta.
To be fair, he should be skipper of the team, in my eyes. Like, because of the amount of times he plays, and
I do understand.
Yeah, because Kompany's in and out so many times. But I understand Kompany is like a leader kind of character. But Zabaleta, just for example of how to play the game, if you need someone to just every week he's in and just giving it.
Okay, centre back.
One of the centre backs that I was going to select.
You can choose both.
You can do both.
Choose both.
Then my two.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
Lenny, you go.
I'm gonna go John Terry first of all, because he was, as far as I was concerned, Chelsea were gonna sell him, and he was gone at the start of the season. There's no way this guy at -2 speed per hour is gonna play for Chelsea. But he's put in an amazing performance, and the other one is Gary Cahill, because he's just gone he's gone a next level of playing football. I'll put the two of them together because obviously we like to say they park the bus, but without two good centre backs, you will never be able to park a good bus. Yeah. But Gary Cahill and John Terry have played really, really well this year. If I had to go for one of the two, I'd go for Gary Cahill, because he's taken another step in his career-wise to say, like, okay, I'm first choice here. So like, I think he's even more of a first choice than John Terry is, in my eyes anyway. Now he's gone.
My choice, Cahill is definitely in there. So I'm not even going to talk about Cahill because he's literally impressed me. But my second one, I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but I've been impressed by Mertesacker. I really have. Like I've actually been impressed. Like I've sat there and watched these performances, and that slow, big, I'm not going to say the word, German, has actually impressed me game in, game out. There's been a few games where he's obviously fallen by the wayside, but he has generally impressed me throughout the season. If I'm going to go for my two centre backs, it's going to be Cahill and Mertz.
I would have definitely gone with Cahill. John Terry often does get. With John Terry, it's often about who his partner is.
Yeah.
And I think Cahill's pace does still save Terry. Mourinho plays to Terry's strengths in the way that he sets up his team, but Cahill's been awesome. And I would go with Koscielny and Mertesack's centre-back partner. The simple reason is, for me, Koscielny on the ball, he's the one that will cover for Mertesacker when he does have to deal with pace. And Arsenal have kept, I think, the second most clean sheets in the league this season. So I think, along with Chelsea being Cahill, I'd go Koscielny.
See, I think we're all going with Cahill, but I'm going to go a bit left field. I think he's had an awesome season. I think his injury cost his club some vital victories and Dejan Lovren. For me, I think he's had an outstanding season. His first season in the country, he's got the pace, he's got the power, he's got the experience, and I was surprised when he left Lyon to go to Southampton. I was like, how the hell?
We were all surprised about that one.
Southampton managed to do that.
Yeah.
Like, Liverpool were looking for the whole summer for a centre back. We could have gone and got Dejan Lovren.
But were they even looking at him?
They probably weren't, because no one probably thought it was available. So for me, Mertesacker's had a good season, Koscielny's had a good season, but they're here.
Yeah.
They've done it. For him to come in, and he transformed their defence, as far as I'm concerned, because last year their defence wasn't that tight. As soon as he came in, he shored it up. So for me, I'll go for Cahill and I'll go for Lovren. And I think that's left and right foot. I think Lovren's left footed, you know. Okay, I'm wrong. It's right footed. But I'll go for those as my choice. So
I think to be honest with you, I wouldn't argue with. I wouldn't, if we was having a debate, I wouldn't go. None of those guys that's been mentioned don't deserve to be the defensive.
No,
pairings.
to be fair, you could even go as far as saying Company as well, because Company.
Every time he comes back, he just looks like he's never been gone.
Yeah, he just, and on top of that, Man City missed him like so many. You see it like in the games whenever he's not playing to when he's playing. But to be fair, the Michaelis' first season, he's had a good season as well.
I wouldn't say he's had a good season. I say he's had a good end to season. Because for 3/4 of the season, he was not good. Let's be honest, he wasn't good.
Yeah.
But I think there was one game, maybe 6 or 7 weeks ago, where he just stepped up. So something. I think when Company got the red card, he came in and he played with. I think it was even Michael Richards. He played with someone that was unusual to play with, and that game it was almost like, because Company wasn't there and because all the rest of them weren't there.
He became a leader
from that game, and since that game, I would say, since that game, he's actually performed at a better standard than Company has. Maybe because Company has to compensate and cover him, but he's consistently performed well, better than he was before.
His Company's been saying of late that he's been playing for injury as well.
Exactly. Company has a few slip-ups. I haven't seen Di Michaelis. He gets criticised so many times, and I think they're still thinking of how he played the first half of the season, not looking at how he's playing now. So we'll go from top to bottom to Yao, your 5, so we have a record. Your back 5.
It's Lloris, Shaw. I went for Pierre Mertesacker, Cahill and Coleman.
Lenny?
Went for Marshall, Zabaleta, Terry, Cahill, and I think I said Aspilicueta.
Yep.
Yeah.
Leon?
I said Lloris, Zabaleta, Cahill, Koscielny and Aspilicueta.
And mine was Peter Cech in goal, Zabaleta in the end, when I confirmed what I was actually really meaning. Zabaleta, Lovren, Cahill and Aspilicueta. So, it's been a good show, guys. I'd like to thank you listeners for taking the time out to listen. We will be here every week. You can catch us at our YouTube channel, Armchair Pundits. I've got our Twitter, which is also Armchair Pundits, and we've also got Tumblr, which is also Armchair Pundits. So, Armchair Pundits, Armchair Pundits, Armchair Pundits. Tell your friends, tell your cousins, tell everyone that the show is here, and we're looking to get this thing started.
Okay, thank you guys. Take care.
Bless.
Bye.